Celestial Magic, 15 Behenian Stars, produced and directed by Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen. In this video, Reverend Dr. Mullen discusses how the Behenian fixed stars are a selection of 15 stars considered especially useful for magical applications in the medieval astrology of Europe and the Arab world. Their name derives from Arabic term Bahman, meaning root, as each was considered a source of astrological power for one or more planets. Each is also connected with a gemstone and plant that would be used in rituals meant to draw the star's influences, for example, into a talisman. When a planet was within 6 degrees of an associated star, this influence was thought to be particularly strong. Now, Reverend Dr. Mullen will provide us with more details about this subject matter.
This is astrologer and paranormal investigator, Reverend Dr. Dikki-Jo Mullen in Orlando, Florida, with Celestial Magic and the 15 Behenian Stars. Among the Native Americans, there's a legend that the stars are really openings in heaven through which our departed loved ones gaze upon us. And it's a charming and heartwarming thought which reflects many more elaborate beliefs and practices that some stars are actual portals of energy which both generate and attract celestial powers. Rituals which employ crystals and gemstones, plants, and Kabbalistic words and other sacred symbols known as sigils are meant to attract a given star's influence for healing, love, prosperity, or other needs. There are a number of texts which address this idea. The most well-known is Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa's 3 books of occult philosophy, which were first published in 1531. These books were attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. Hermes Trismegistus is a legendary figure who wrote the Hermetica, a series of texts which laid the foundation for a variety of magical philosophies. Hermes Trismegistus is associated with the Greek god Hermes or Mercury and the Egyptian deity Thoth. According to the prominent British Egyptologist Sir Wallace Budge, a source in Sumeria is most likely for these sacred writings. Medieval magicians from Europe and the Arabian countries employed a select 15 stars called the Behenian Stars for magical purposes. The name comes from an Arabic word, Bahman, which means root. When a transiting planet or luminary, the luminaries are the lights in the heavens, the sun and the moon, was within an orb of 6 degrees of one of these stars, the magic and the impact was thought to be particularly potent. The celestial body's power would combine with that of the star to create a special impact, a vortex of power through the birth chart. 4 of the 15 Behenian stars are in a class by themselves. They are called the royal stars. Elite astrologers in ancient Persia believed that the royal stars each governed a quarter of the sky. That's the 4 directions. These 4 stars were believed to wield incredible potentials for both good and evil. Calculations for navigation and calendars were made by referring to all of the Behenian stars. Future forecasts and predictions and solar as well as lunar returns were determined by these highly visible stars. The 4 royal stars additionally each relate to a specific challenge that an aspirant must overcome in order to become an adept in the various mystery schools. Many astrologers today will consider the Behenian stars as well as other fixed stars when interpreting an individual's horoscope or in forecasting the weather, the astrology that's called astrometeorology, or significant world events, that's called mundane astrology. The 4 royal stars are as follows: Fomalhaut, Antares, Aldebaran, and Regulus. Fomalhaut, which translates the lonely one, is the lone brightest star, appearing to be a fish in the sign of Pisces, drinking the waters of the water-bearer Aquarius. 3,000 years ago, it marked the winter solstice and became the watcher of the south. It is thought to be of sublime scope, fortunate, powerful, and even immortal. It changes from a material to a spiritual focus and great and lasting honors when it's favorably activated. Antares is the watcher of the west. Its origin is Greek and means rival of Mars. Inhabiting the heart of the scorpion, this is a bringer of the darkness, the winter to come. A sinister red supergiant in the heavens, Antares has an otherworldly aura to stargazers. In ancient Persia, it marked the autumnal equinox. Warlike and malefic, headstrong, ravenous, it was related to difficulties and casualties. Aldebaran is the bright rose-colored eye of the bull in Taurus. It was thought to be a most fortunate star and was the watcher of the east, marking the vernal equinox some 3,000 years ago for the astrologers of ancient Persia. Intelligent and eloquent, the star confers courage and popularity, gain and wealth, and it comes through the favor of associates. Keeping good company is always very important. We want our lives to improve. Running with a good crowd, having positive people around us is important. Aldebaran is a reminder of that, and its benefits might be transitory, not long-lasting, depending upon lifestyle choices. Finally, there's Regulus, the watcher of the north. It has a name which means little king. It's an alpha star of Leo, the lion. It has special importance because its appearance would foreshadow the rising of Sirius, the dog star, and the start of a new year for the ancient Egyptians. White and ultramarine blue are the colors of this star, the watcher of the north, marking the summer solstice 3,000 years ago. Lofty ideals, a royal and magnanimous spirit, ambition, great status, and independence are its keynotes. Here are the current positions of the Behenian stars for the early 21st century, which astrologers use today in calculations. It's a chart of the metaphysical and astrological correlations adapted from a 1531 edition of the 3 books of occult philosophy, again by the legendary Heinrich Cornelius Agrippa. And the information is attributed to Hermes Trismegistus. There are other correlations which exist in a study this ancient. Experiment with them if you would like, but these seem to be the most consistent and effective to use in reading horoscopes and for magical workings. Algol currently is 28 Taurus 10. Its planetary affinities are with Saturn and Jupiter. The gemstone is the diamond, and the plant is the black hellebore. Again, using the crystals and the plants, along with timing, will help to open the portals of the stars or to understand them in natal charts, birth charts. Pleiades is at 29 Taurus 58. The moon and Mars are the planetary affinities. Quartz crystal and fennel are the gemstone and the herbal affinities, respectively. Aldebaran is at 9 Gemini 47. Mars and Venus are the planetary affinities, and the ruby, as well as milk thistle, are the gemstone and the plant. Capella at 21 Gemini 51 is a Jupiter and Saturn affinity for the star influence. Sapphire and thyme are the plant and the planet affinities here. Sirius, the dog star, is currently at 14 Cancer 05. Astrologically, it relates to Venus and the moon. The gemstone is beryl, and the plant is the juniper. Procyon is at 25 Cancer 47. Mercury and Mars would be the planetary affinities. The agate and the buttercup are the gemstone and the plant. Regulus is 29 Leo 50 minutes right now. Jupiter and Mars are the astrological affinities. Granite and mugwort are the stone and the plant affinities. Polaris, also the North Star, is 28 Gemini 34. Venus and the moon are the astrological affinities, and magnetite, the magnet, and succory are the plant and the stone affinities. Algorab at 13 Libra 27. Saturn and Mars are the planetary affinities. Onyx for the stone and burdock for the plant. Spica, thought to be the luckiest, most fortunate star to have active in the heavens, is right now at 23 Libra 50 minutes. Venus and Mercury are the astrological rulers. The emerald for the crystal and the sage for the plant are the affinities. Arcturus is at 24 Libra 14 minutes. Mars and Jupiter are the planetary affinities. Jasper and plantain would be the stone and the plant, respectively. Alphecca at 12 Cancer, Alphecca is at 12 Scorpio, 18. Ruled by Venus and Mars would be topaz and rosemary. Antares, 9 Sagittarius, 46 minutes. Venus and Jupiter are the astrological rulers. Sardonyx and birthwort are the plant and crystal rulerships. Vega, there was a car called the Vega in the early 70s. I don't think it lasted too long. The star position right now is 15 Capricorn 19. Mercury and Venus are your astrological rulerships. Chrysolite and also winter savory would be the plant. Deneb Algeti at 23 Aquarius 30. Saturn and Mercury are the astrological rulers. Chalcedony and also marjoram are the plant and crystal rulerships. Finally, Fomalhaut at 3 Pisces 52. Currently, Venus and Mercury are the rulerships. Aquamarine would be the stone, and poppy, the plant. To perform a ritual or call upon the stars, meditate on them, look at them, let them guide you. Today's world gives us wonderful material for looking at them, since the sky is no longer as bright and clear. It absolutely amazes me when I think of the astrologers of ancient Persia with sand clocks looking up at the sky, spotting the stars. Unless you're way out at sea and have had experience in celestial navigation, that isn't easy to do nowadays. But you can do it electronically with computer programs. Focus on the stars. Perform a ritual. Desired timing is important. Consider the day of the week, planetary hour, and the planets that I just mentioned, as well as the luminaries, the sun and the moon, attached to the star. And focusing on this, developing a drawing, an appropriate sigil, Kabbalistic words, including an altar with plants and gemstones that are apropos, can do a lot to help you to attune to these openings in the heavens through which the eyes of our ancestors might gaze with love and help. These are called fixed stars. That's something of a misnomer because they do move very, very slowly. They drift at the rate of just barely a degree every century. And that's why, of course, over the 3,000-year period, they've drifted away from the solstice and equinox points in the case of the royal stars. But we can still use them, place them in today's world's charts. The world has changed. And, of course, the heavens around us reflect that very subtle and drifting change. Happy stargazing in conclusion.